Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the second gospel guitar lesson. In today's lesson we're going to be taking a look at some diminished seventh chords, some like 4 different shapes, and then also how to use them in your playing and really get some super cool kind of passing chord sounds, and add a lot of cool sounds to not just gospel music but some progressions you already know. So before we get started, I just wanted to mention I have the fan funding, the tip jar feature set up on my channel. So if you guys want to help support the channel, the lessons, all that good stuff, I'd appreciate any way you can help me out with that. And if not, that's totally fine. I just appreciate you guys coming back here to check out these lessons. So yeah, let's get right into it. We're going to go over 4 different shapes first of all, and then I'll show you how you can approach some different chords with these shapes, and yeah, like I said, get some really cool sounds. So we're going to take a look at drop 3 diminished 7th chords and then drop 2 diminished 7th chords. And the first thing, if you don't understand what that means, it's totally fine. It's just an arranging term. Basically, drop 3 is going to mean we're going to have a string, a note on a string, a skip string, and then 3 notes on adjacent strings. So they're going to be 4-note chords. And then we're going to have for drop 2 basically just 4 notes on adjacent strings on 4 adjacent strings. So that's what that means. Like you can Google that and see what the actual, what the technical term for that means. But for right now, it's not super important. So first of all, and these are diminished 7th chords. The makeup of these are the root, minor 3rd, flat 5, and then a double flat 7. Okay, so here's what the first one is going to look like. It's going to be based off of the 6th string, so the low E. So we're going to have ring finger on the 5th fret of the low E, and then we're going to have pointer finger, 4th fret of the D, pinky, 5th fret of the G, middle on the 4th fret of the B. Okay, so there's our first diminished 7th chord. Okay, now next up we're going to do this same exact drop 3 chord, but we're just going to move it to the next set of strings. And obviously the shape's going to change a little bit just based on the way the guitar is tuned. So here's what this is going to look like. We're going to base this off of 5th fret, so it's going to be a D on the A string. So middle finger, 5th fret on the A. Pointer finger is going to do a bar from the G string down on the 4th fret, that is. And then pinky on the 6th fret of the B. So there's what that shape looks like. Okay, and then next up we're going to have drop 2 shape on the A, D, G, and B strings. So here's what this one is going to look like. We're going to have middle finger on the 5th fret of the A, ring finger is going to go on the 6th fret of the D, pointer 4th fret of the G, and then pinky 6th fret of the B. Okay, so then there's what that shape looks like, and then to finish off with, we're going to have that shape. We're just going to move it up a set of strings. Okay, so we're going to base this off of G, again still on the 5th fret. I'm just keeping these all based off of the 5th fret for simplicity's sake for now. So pointer finger, 5th fret of the D, ring finger on the 6th fret of the G, middle finger, 5th fret of the B, then pinky, 6th fret of the high E. And then there's what that shape looks like. Okay, now 2 kind of cool things to keep in mind about diminished 7th chords, fully diminished 7th chords like this, is that you may already know this, but they're movable by 3 fret increments on the fretboard, and they'll still be the same chord. So for instance, if we have D diminished 7 right here, if we move it up 3 frets, we'll still have D diminished 7. If we move it up another 3 frets, still the same chord. Another 3, still the same chord. Okay, so you can always move that up by 3 frets and it'll be the same chord. And obviously when you go 3, 3, 3, 3, and then 3, you'll be back up, at the same chord down here, just an octave higher. So that's the first thing that's pretty cool, and that works with every shape. So, that shape, the shape on the high 3 or the high 4 strings. So that'll always work. So that's one cool thing you can just start experimenting with. Just kind of moving those diminished chords around by by 3 frets. The next thing to keep in mind is a diminished chord can be named from any note that you're playing. So for instance, this one could be D diminished 7, it could be A flat diminished 7, B diminished 7, or F diminished 7. Okay, so it can be named from any note inside the chord. Okay, and that works for every shape that we had just worked with. So those are kind of two things that are cool to keep in mind with the diminished 7 chord. Okay, now let's go over how to kind of throw these into your playing and really add, a lot of cool sounds to your playing. And like I said, it doesn't necessarily have to be gospel. You can just try throwing this into, any progressions you might already know. So obviously, a major key has 3 minor chords. Okay, the 2 minor, the 3 minor, and then the 6 minor. All those minor chords can be approached by a diminished 7th chord. Okay, and the way we do that is we approach the minor chord with a diminished 7th chord a half step below the root of the minor 7. Now it sounds a little confusing, but let me just show you an example. So let's just take the 2 chord in C major. Okay, we're going to have D minor 7. We could approach that with D flat diminished 7. Listen how nice this sounds. Okay, so if we go like C major 7. Okay, so super smooth sound. We could do the same thing with E minor 7. Approach that with E flat diminished 7. Okay, again, really nice sound. And then we could also do the same thing for A minor 7. We could approach that with A flat diminished 7. Okay, so really nice sounds, and you can go crazy with that. Try that on every minor chord if you want. That's kind of what I did at the beginning of this video, to kind of give you guys an idea of how this sounds. And you can also do the same thing, with like moving by 3 frets. So if we're approaching A minor 7, we could go. Okay, so all I did was start A flat diminished 7, up 3 frets, then resolve into A minor 7, which sounds super cool. And you can do that with every, you could do that on the high strings, like with the drop 2 diminished 7 shape. You could do that with all your shapes. And even if it doesn't matter if you're resolving in the 2, the 3, or the 6, it'll still work. So you could still go, even with D minor 7, you could still go, or you could go down, up, resolve. So yeah, that's kind of the idea there. Try that in a whole bunch of different keys, add that into progressions, listen for it in popular tunes. Guys use that in, I've heard that even in country and stuff like that before. So it's a popular move. One popular thing to do is to go the 5 chord, so in this case G dominant 7, okay, the flat 6 diminished 7, resolving into the minor 6. So that sort of thing. So yeah, try those ideas in a whole bunch of different keys. Kind of work them into your playing until you can do them pretty naturally. And yeah, I think you'll discover a lot of cool new sounds with this. So next week we'll be taking a look at some dominant 7 chord shapes and kind of how to embellish those and make them sound a little more gospel. So yeah, hopefully you guys are enjoying these lessons. I know that I'm having a lot of fun kind of going through and showing you guys some of these cool sounds. Hopefully it's adding to your playing. And yeah, I'll see you guys back here again next week. Thanks so much.